health stories, the ongoing measles outbreak, this season's deadly flu virus, and of course this one. Just last week, we learned a U.S. warship is essentially being quarantined at sea because of a viral infection similar to the mumps. The common thread here? All of these infections and diseases are totally preventable with a vaccine. But now some parents say, although they're not anti-vaccine, they're pro taking matters into their own hands by not following the recommended vaccine guidelines. They prefer to gradually vaccinate their children, spread out the shots. Most times, doctors do not agree with that. I want to bring in Dr. Corey Cross to talk about this. Corey, if you had a patient come in and say, listen, I'm okay with vaccinating, but I don't want his MMR shots to be back-to-back after a couple of months. I want it to be maybe a year later. What would you say to that parent?
I would tell the parent that by doing that, they're spreading out how long it'll be until the child is actually fully covered. So when you have just one shot, yes, you're partially covered, but if there's an outbreak, you can still get the measles, if we're going to talk about the measles, or you could still get chicken pox. So when you spread that out, you're taking longer for your child to have full immunity. And what parents don't realize, because vaccines are so effective and we don't see these diseases all the time, we don't realize that for the measles, let's say, before we had a vaccine, 450 people died every year. So it's not like your child just might get sick. A lot of the things we vaccinate for, most of the things we vaccinate for, have very serious consequences. Like when you talk about the mumps, a certain percentage of boys who get the mumps, they become sterile. These are not little things. These are serious things.
My goodness, are there any benefits to prolonging the vaccine schedule?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think that there is a little bit of leeway built into the schedule. So for some things, you can get vaccinated between 12 and 15 months. Well, if you're coming in at 12 months and you're coming in at 15 months, sure, you can get one shot here and another shot there. Although I have to admit, I have 3 children, and once you've given them one shot, they're already crying, they're already in pain. I feel like it's better just to get it over with. Now, if you're worried about overwhelming the immune system, which is what I hear from parents all the time, I think that comes from not really understanding how the immune system works.
What about that parent that says, I'll just wait until the latest outbreak? There's been no mumps issues in my kid's school.
Well, again, I think that comes from not understanding how vaccines and the immune system work together. So vaccines have to be given beforehand. They take a little while for your body to get full immunity, so it could take a couple of weeks for you to get the benefits of the vaccine, the full benefits. And then often you need the series, so you know that you have to go in and get your 2, your 4, your 6-month shots. That's because one isn't entirely effective. You need to build that up. So parents really worry about overwhelming the body with too many shots at the same time, too many diseases at the same time. And what they don't realize is just think about how dirty our world is. We like to think of our world as clean and pristine, but it really isn't. And our immune system is set up to deal with that. So if you think about your child's binky that's clipped to their shirt and how it's going in your car seat and then in your purse and then in the grocery store and then on the floor and then back into their mouth, kids can handle this. They can handle, and their immune system can handle a lot of things thrown at them at once. So when you weigh that against possibly getting your child exposed to something that can cause mental retardation, deafness, meningitis, encephalitis, I mean, these are the things we're vaccinating against. I mean, it just doesn't seem to make sense to leave your child at risk and exposed any longer than they need to be.
Well, and you got to wonder whether or not doctors are going to start saying, you have no choice, you have to do this. I know at least at my pediatrician, you have to sign a piece of paper that says, I'm going to follow this schedule because we know what is best. Dr. Corey Cross, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.